Ladies and gentlemen, today I invite you to lean in, not just with your ears, but with your heart. Because what you're about to hear is not just a message, it's a reminder that you are not defined by the opinions of others, a reminder that your voice matters, your purpose is real, and your worth is unshakable. Regardless of whether you've faced bullies, battled self-doubt, or struggled to rise above the noise, this is your moment to reclaim your strengths. Stand in confidence and walk boldly toward the life you were created for. This is more than a speech, it's a spark to ignite the fire within you. When someone mocks you, insults you, or tries to tear you down, it can feel like their words are true. The sting of a cruel comment can echo in your mind long after it's spoken. It might come from a classmate, a co-worker, or even someone in your own home. You are not what they call you. You are not what they think of you. You are more. Always have been, always will be. A bully's words may sound confident. Their laughter might echo like power. The way they walk, talk, and push others around can make it seem like they're strong, like they're in control. But often behind that tough exterior is something completely different. Fear, insecurity, and pain that's been buried deep inside for a long time. It's easy to look at someone who's aggressive or cruel and think they have it all together. But the truth is, most bullies aren't strong at all. They're hurting. And that pain doesn't always come out in quiet tears. It comes out in control, in criticism, and in cruelty. No matter how much it's been through, the value doesn't change. And the same goes for you. Life may wrinkle you. People may step on you with words. But your worth is untouched. The moment you believe that, something changes inside. You stop walking through life afraid of judgment. You stop looking in the mirror through someone else's eyes. You begin to live from the inside out, not the outside in. You walk into rooms with quiet confidence, not arrogance, but with the deep knowledge that you matter, with or without applause. Bullies often want to see you fall. They want to see you break. But nothing disarms a bully more than someone who won't be broken. Someone who, instead of fighting back with fists or insults, stands with dignity and refuses to let hate become their language. This doesn't mean you pretend everything's okay. It's okay to feel hurt. It's okay to cry. But don't let that pain convince you that you're any less. The most powerful thing you can do in the face of bullying is to hold on to the truth of your value. Because once you do, their words lose their weight. Bullies often lash out because they're hurting, because they feel small and powerless, and the only way they know how to feel in control is by making someone else feel even smaller. But that's their battle, not yours to carry. When you understand that your value is unshakable, you stop reacting to every insult like it's a verdict. You don't need to get even, you just need to stay grounded. When someone calls you names, it might hurt. When they laugh at you, it might sting. That's real. But your response doesn't have to come from a place of anger or fear. It can come from a place of strength. Strength that says, I know who I am. I don't need your approval to stand tall. Think about it this way. If someone gave you a $100 bill and crumpled it, stepped on it, or threw it to the ground, would it still be worth $100? Of course. The way they look at you, talk about you, or ignore you can slowly chip away at how you see yourself. Over time, you start wondering, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I really am what they say. That's how bullying works. Not just through words or actions, but through the seeds of doubt it plants inside your heart. But here's something you need to understand. No matter how loudly someone else speaks, they don't get the final say about who you are. People will always have opinions. Some will try to build you up, others will try to break you down. But their words don't carry the power to rewrite your value unless you hand it over to them. Your worth isn't measured by how others treat you. It's not determined by how you look, how you talk, what you have, or what you lack. You are not a reflection of someone else's insecurity. A person who is confident in themselves doesn't feel the need to tear others down. Someone who feels secure and loved doesn't go looking for people to humiliate or embarrass. But when someone carries wounds, whether from rejection, abuse, neglect, or even their own self-hatred, it can twist the way they treat others. Instead of dealing with that pain in a healthy way, they push it outward. They find someone weaker, someone different, someone they believe won't fight back, and they transfer their own suffering onto that person. It becomes a cycle, pain creating pain. So sometimes bullies are bullied themselves. Maybe at home they're constantly criticized or ignored. Maybe someone in their life made them feel small, and now they want to feel big in any way they can. So they pick someone else to be the target. It gives them a momentary feeling of power, a rush that says, at least I'm not the one being pushed around this time. But that kind of power never lasts. It's artificial, and it comes at the cost of someone else's heart. Other times, the pain isn't as obvious. It could be hidden behind pressure to be perfect, to fit in, to be popular. That doesn't mean you have to fix them. It's not your job to heal their pain, but it does mean you don't have to carry the weight of their words on your shoulders. You can walk away knowing the problem didn't start with you. It started with something they never dealt with. Their fight isn't yours to fight. The more we understand where bullying comes from, the more power we have to break the cycle. Not by becoming bullies ourselves, but by choosing a different path, one that's built on empathy, strength, and truth. Because once we realize that cruelty is often a cry for help, we stop letting it shape who we are. We start living from a place that their pain can't touch. It doesn't make it hurt less in the moment, but it helps you stop taking it personally, because at the end of the day, their actions are more about what's going on inside them than what's wrong with you. This perspective can also give you strength. When you understand that bullies are often fighting invisible battles, you can respond not with fear or hate, but with wisdom. You can draw boundaries without becoming bitter. You can speak up without stooping to their level. Sometimes you might even be able to look them in the eyes and see a person who's just trying to escape their own storm. They might bully out of fear of becoming the outcast themselves. It becomes a way of protecting their image, keeping others from seeing the cracks underneath. So they act first, hurt first, laugh first, because they're afraid of being seen for who they really are, flawed just like everyone else. Understanding this doesn't excuse their behavior. It doesn't mean bullying is okay. It's never okay. But when you realize that a bullish cruelty often comes from a place of brokenness, you begin to see the situation differently. Instead of internalizing their insults, you start recognizing them for what they are. Projections of someone else's pain. Responding with confidence means choosing a higher road when someone tries to drag you down. It's not weakness, it's strength. In fact, it takes more courage to walk away from a fight than to start one. It takes more maturity to stay grounded than to lose control. Confidence says, I don't have to match your energy. I don't have to stoop to your level. I know who I am, and what you say doesn't shake me. There's a natural instinct inside us when we're hurt. We want to hurt back. When someone insults us, we want to snap. When someone humiliates us, we imagine all the ways we could get even, make them feel what we felt, give them a taste of their own medicine. That desire for revenge is human, but the truth is, it rarely leads to peace. It might feel good for a moment, but it often leaves us just as empty and angry as before. That's because real power isn't found in payback. It's found in self-control, in knowing who you are so well that you don't need to prove anything to anyone. It's not about being passive or silent. Responding with confidence doesn't mean allowing someone to continue hurting you. It means addressing the situation firmly but without hate. It means speaking truth, setting boundaries, and not allowing their words or actions to control your emotions. You can be strong without being cruel. You can be assertive without being aggressive. When someone tries to belittle you, they're often looking for a reaction. They want to see you flinch, break down, or lash out. That gives them power. But when you respond calmly, with poise, with clarity, they don't get what they're looking for. That calmness shows them that they don't have control over your mind or your spirit. And that can be one of the most powerful messages you send without saying much at all. Or it also helps you lead by example. Whether you realize it or not, people are watching. Younger siblings, classmates, co-workers, or even strangers. When you show that it's possible to respond with strength and calmness, you give others permission to do the same. You break the cycle. You show that respect is more powerful than retaliation. There will always be people who misunderstand you, challenge you, or try to bring you down. But your greatest weapon isn't revenge, it's being unshaken. When you know who you are, you don't need to fight to prove it. You let your actions speak louder than words. Your peace speak louder than voice, and your confidence speak louder than cruelty. Confidence is quiet. It doesn't shout or scream to be heard. It's steady. It's the kind of presence that speaks even when you're not talking. It comes from knowing your value, your worth, and your identity. It's built on self-respect and inner peace. And when you live from that place, the insults that used to shake you start to lose their weight. Choosing confidence over revenge also protects your future. Revenge often causes damage, not just to the other person, but to your own heart and reputation. You don't have to carry the burden of becoming like the one who hurt you. You don't have to become hard, cold, or bitter just to survive. Confidence allows you to move forward without letting their behavior shape your identity. Speaking up isn't about shouting or fighting back with anger. It's about choosing to give your voice the space it deserves. It's about being honest about what's happening, even when it feels uncomfortable. Because the moment you speak, you take back your power. You say, I matter. What's happening isn't okay. That one act of courage can open the door for healing, for change, for support that you didn't know was available. Bullying thrives in silence. It relies on fear, shame, and isolation. But when you speak up, you shine a light on something that was hiding in the dark. It might not stop overnight, but it breaks the pattern. It lets others know that this isn't something you're willing to accept. And it often gives others around you the courage to speak up too, because chances are you're not the only one going through it. Sometimes speaking up doesn't just mean confronting the bully. It can also mean being kind to yourself out loud. It can mean reminding yourself that you don't deserve this, that you are valuable, even if someone else tries to convince you otherwise. It can mean standing up for someone else who's being targeted, even when it's easier to stay on the sidelines. Your voice can become a shield, not just for you, but for others too. You might worry that no one will believe you or that you'll be seen as weak for saying something. But speaking up is not weakness, it's strength in its truest form. It takes real bravery to stand up and say, this is hurting me, especially when your voice feels small. But your voice is more powerful than you think. It doesn't have to be loud to make a difference. It just has to be honest. Talk to someone you trust. A teacher, a parent, a counselor, a friend. Let someone in. You don't have to have all the right words. You just have to start, because the pain you're carrying was never meant to be carried alone. And the people who care about you can't help if they don't know what you're going through. In every moment where you could retaliate, there's also a chance to rise. Every time you choose dignity over drama, you take back control, not of them, but of yourself. And that's where the real victory lives. Silence can feel like the safest option. When you're being bullied or mistreated, it's easy to believe that keeping quiet will make things easier. Maybe you think speaking up will only make it worse. Maybe you're afraid no one will listen, or that they'll say it's not a big deal. So you hold it in. You wear a smile that hides the pain. You laugh with others when they joke. Even when it's about you, you tell yourself, just get through the day. But the problem with silence is that it doesn't stop the pain. It buries it. And over time, buried pain becomes a heavy weight that starts to affect how you see yourself and your future. Some will criticize your dreams, mock your efforts, or try to convince you that you're not enough. And when that happens, it's tempting to shrink, to stop trying, to change who you are just to please people who were never meant to define you in the first place. But the truth is, your purpose, your reason for being, is far bigger than their opinions. You were not created to fit into someone else's version of success. You weren't designed to live a life that's easy to digest or safe from judgment. Your purpose is unique, deep, and rooted in something far beyond what people think of you. That purpose doesn't disappear just because someone disapproves. It doesn't weaken when someone laughs at your dream or rolls your eyes at your effort. Purpose doesn't bow to popularity, it stands firm, even in the face of rejection. When you live for other people's approval, you become a prisoner to their opinions. One compliment can lift you up, and one insult can tear you down. There may be times when your voice shakes, when you're scared, when you want to back down. That's okay. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's choosing to act in spite of it. And every time you speak up, even a little, you get stronger. You start to believe in yourself more. You start to see that you have the right to be heard, to be respected, and to be safe. Keeping quiet may feel easier in the moment, but over time, silence becomes a cage. It keeps you stuck. Speaking up is what unlocks that cage and lets you breathe again. It's what turns pain into purpose and struggle into strength. You don't have to be loud. You just have to be brave enough to use your voice, because your story matters. Your feelings matter. And your voice, however soft or strong it may be, is a powerful tool for change. There will always be people who misunderstand you. People who judge you without knowing your story, who make assumptions based on how you look, speak, or act. It's a roller coaster that leaves you dizzy and unsure of who you really are. But when you live with purpose, when you wake up each day knowing that your life has meaning, you walk with a different kind of confidence. Not the kind that boasts or shows off, but the kind that quietly knows, I'm here for a reason, and no one can take that away from me. People will talk. That's life. They'll have opinions about what you do, how you do it, and whether or not they think you'll make it. But opinions are just that, opinions. They're not facts. They don't hold power unless you give them permission. Just because someone doesn't believe in your journey doesn't mean your journey isn't worth taking. Just because someone doesn't understand your dream doesn't mean it isn't real. Your purpose might not make sense to everyone. It might look different. It might take longer. It might require more sacrifice. You weren't created to live small just because others are uncomfortable with your growth. You weren't meant to fade into the background just because someone else can't see your light. The more you grow, the more opinions you'll face. But growth isn't about pleasing everyone. It's about becoming the version of you that you were always meant to be. And that version doesn't live for likes or approval. It lives for something deeper, something higher, something more lasting than the temporary noise of criticism. You have something inside you that no one can take away. Purpose. It will outlast their opinions, outshine their doubts, and outgrow their expectations. You don't need them to believe in you to move forward. You just need to believe in the reason you're moving in the first place. At the end of the day, life isn't about proving yourself to those who doubt you. It's not about fighting every battle or seeking revenge against those who try to bring you down. But if it's yours, if it's what you're called to do, then it's worth pursuing, even if nobody claps for you at first. Some of the most world-changing people were doubted, dismissed, even hated. But they didn't stop because their focus was never on applause. It was on impact. When you understand your purpose, you stop needing everyone to agree with you. You stop explaining yourself to people who have no intention of listening. You become less interested in being liked and more committed to being real. Purpose anchors you when storms come. It gives you direction when the path isn't clear. And it reminds you that what you do and who you are becoming matters, whether anyone else sees it or not. You have gifts that weren't given to you by accident. They're people only you can reach, stories only you can tell, and lives only you can touch. But if you let someone's opinions silence your voice, you'll miss the chance to live out the very reason you're here. It's about knowing who you are, standing strong in your worth, and walking in your purpose no matter what others say. Bullies don't define you. Their words don't shape your future. Their actions don't determine your value. You are stronger than their insults, greater than their criticism, and far more powerful than their attempts to make you feel small. Your voice matters. Don't let fear silence it. Your confidence is your strength. Don't let hate shake it. And your purpose is far bigger than their opinions. Don't let doubt stop you from chasing it. No matter what you face, hold your head high. Keep moving forward. Choose courage over fear, strength over anger, and faith over uncertainty. Because you were created for more. You were made to rise. And nothing, not a bully, not rejection, not even failure, can take away the greatness inside you. Thank you. Stay strong, stay true, and never stop believing in yourself.